Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. Nice to see you all. I believe that I'm familiar with all of you, and I'm pleased to meet you. We haven't met for a while now. So the panel I will moderate is around Euro 2024, well, the sports event that we're experiencing as a supporters as well. So I would like to ask Andrea Buonomo, Executive Sales Manager from Cine Video, Alessandro Alquati, Managing Director from Broadcaster, and Luciano Consigli. Well, he's a Senior Manager from Broadcast Engineering. And also from Germany, Ferruccio Zanotti, from Sky Sport, and Fabio Buzza, CTO from Globecast. Hello, everyone. Well, hello and thank you. Thank you so much for making this today so that you could find some room in your agenda. Happy that you can attend the panel. Ferruccio, let me start from you. So after 20 years or so, we're back to Germany. Well, hopefully we'll be winning again. Oh, I didn't want to say this. I didn't want to say what happened back in 2006. So would you like to tell us a bit how things are going? How is this Euro project being managed by Sky Sport? Hello, everyone. First of all, I'm very pleased that I can tell about Euro 2024 from Sky, and I'm actually following Italy, and not only. Well, Euro for Sky starts from the very first show that was held in Berlin last year. UEFA was, let's say, outlining the strategies, and they wanted to broadcast HDR, and this was a new way for us to broadcast. We had already tested with the B series so that we could be ready for Euro 2024 as well as Champions League, because it would be actually be broadcast the same way. Well, I'm part of the team after workshop one, and we consider, first of all, how to match, let's say, the different needs and expectations. Second workshop from UEFA was held in Hamburg, December. They were confirming strategies, guidelines, as well as red card and broadcast manual. And then, of course, all the operational things started. Well, first of all, they were delivering, let's say, specs so that facilities could be delivered, and this agenda was being managed by Sky. Of course, the biggest effort was on how to cover Italy, starting from the training pitch, and we do have two bump cameras which are supporting our, let's say, our journalists supporting Italy, and then of course Cine Video is now part of this as well, as they are taking care of the directing piece. Now we decided to actually base here in the stadium. This is something that's been made available by UEFA. 3 different cameras, one on Jimmy Chip, in Jimmy, as we call it. And we decided also to have 2 more cameras on the pitch, Rodingham and Cine Look camera. And on top of these, we also have a camera with the longest optic to deliver more the profiles that we're, let's say, delivering during the match. And then, of course, another one for the post-match interviews. And then 2 bunker cameras, which are all around the city, so that we can really cover comprehensively, you know, this Italy, the Italy event. Now, the qualifying round were closing yesterday, and we were providing commentators, of course, pre-post interviews. 9 more matches where we were having journalists only to cover the pre and post match. Today, we're closing the booking for the second phase, and we're now making some adjustments and some fine-tuning. Another important piece of the puzzle was the studio on the opening match, and we've taken care of a production, taken advantage of a kit from Sky, and I would love to take the opportunity to thank everyone who made efforts to work on this project. So that studio was being released thanks to 3 different signals, and then we were having 2 more signals as a backup. Something that was really important as well was the Arenas Village in front of Reichstag in Berlin, where we're actually making 4 different editions of our, let's say, news. And, well, obviously, I can be only happy and satisfied with the exchanges with Sky UK and Sky there, Sky Germany, and they've been really supportive, and we've been able, of course, to share content and reduce costs. Last but not least, because this is really the technology core, MCR, that we were able to develop with broadcast and Cine Video, 4 J2K fibers for HD and HDR matches, and 6 more fibers for accessory signals that UEFA is making available. And then an additional Imbra to deliver to Rome right away. Also, I would like to remind everyone to the commitment from our production center. They're supporting us on 200 hours of broadcasting during Euro 2024, and they keep working on our properties, which are many and important, like tennis and others. I'd like to remind you all that tennis, by the way, is going to start Wimbledon July 1, exclusive on our channels. This is important for us, of course. And let me close by saying that our intention was very much to have all of our Sky people in Germany, and considering the audience, we made it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ferruccio. Well, you shouldn't have unveiled, all the topics. That should have been a surprise. Okay, well, that was maybe too technical. Anyway, our studio was nicer, more beautiful than this one, of course, I'm kidding. Okay, but we look better, okay? Not the studio. Okay, so this is going to be the Wimbledon studio, or platform. So in a week, more or less, we will sort of change the layout. So this is going to be the tennis studio, which is what happened during the international championship. So once again, back to Wimbledon. Now, in big events, we do have long-established partners together with Sky Sport. We've been working with them for many, many years. In some cases, for example, Locust, since 2006. This is one of the most important partnerships we have. Now, Alessandro, what's new this year, and what about the distribution model? Did it change over the years? I brought the presentation. First of all, good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for having me here. Again, thank you for your trust. We are of age, so we started in 2006 in Germany, so we are 18, right? And that, was a very lucky experience. Anyway, celebrating our first 18 years together. Now, this partnership, by the way, gave us the opportunity to develop new skills over the years. We have experimented new technologies. For example, in 2006, there was our first time when HD encoders were, big, heavy, and cumbersome. Well, the situation has changed today. This journey also went through a technological evolution and important choices made also, well, considering the needs of Sky, and of course your needs keep changing. In the next slide, you will see the architecture. Okay, so you can just use the remote and control the slides. So once again, back to the general architecture. As you can see here, it's No, based on the same footprint. So first of all, we want to offer quality, safety, security in terms of delivering signals, so we have a redundant architecture. Maybe you don't see the details. Anyway, on the left, you can see IBC Sky Leipzig, and on the right-hand side, we have Sky MSG here in Milan. We have a fiber optics ring, which is diversified, redundant 1 gigabyte. So this is basically IBC connected to MSG, which is Milano Santa Giulia, so the studios we are here today. We also have a satellite recovery system, we have a network interface, and we also have an alternative pathway that connects with 2 different disaster recovery signals to Sky Rome, so in the Salaria neighborhood in Rome. Of course, hopefully this won't be necessary, but anyway, we can also rely upon the 2 fibers. As for the technical configuration, well, you can see plenty of details on encoding platforms, together with many other, technical devices. Fabio from Germany will tell us more about this. Good evening, thank you so much for this great opportunity. You're right, I was there in 2006, so if you will. Yes, it's been, traveling together for 18 years. Now, Ferruccio told you everything, so no other surprises to share with you. Well, maybe the only point is that the big shift happened with the coding change and then the latency problems. J2K, well, that was absolutely necessary. It was a big step forward, and we managed to do this before many competitors. So we have already mentioned disaster recovery systems. Well, maybe the only point which is a highlight for me is on the monitoring architecture of the entire system. So this is IPC, there's a specific team taking care of all the matches. So we have plenty of monitors, so you can see here the main organization room. We have here all of the signals that we generate here in Germany. This is what we deliver, and these are the signals that you really receive in MSG, so in Milan. It's a top-notch end-to-end system in case of troubleshooting. Hopefully it won't be necessary. We have the same systems together on the MCR, which is the so-called Technopolo in Rome. Let's say we have 2 layers, or a 2-layer verification system we can rely upon. Well, Alessandro already gave you, information on the redundancy of the circuits, and once again, having a redundant system is absolutely crucial. This year we have added a completely segregated disaster recovery system with another piece of equipment. So this is MP4, and quality is improving. Once again, it's a further step forward, if you will. So we can say that the product is very important. Of course, it is expensive, and again, of course, it has to be dealt with at best. Anyway, just wanted to tell you that so here in Leipzig we have 32 degrees today, and Germans don't like it.
Fabio, aggiungo l'ultimo, ho voluto ripercorrere brevemente proprio l'escursus che tu avevi introdotto.
Let me go back to what you said before. So looking back, we started in Germany, Rugby, France, South Africa, Olympic Games in London with a huge deployment, large size and top-notch quality. World Cup in Brazil, and then 3 European Championships in a row. Well, I can say that, of course, many things have changed, especially the technologies that we have used. We started, as I said before, with HD, a very simple, basic level, together with SD signals. So, of course, we had to keep pace with the evolution of the platform. And then stepwise, studios, well, at the very beginning, they were in the host country, the main studio or some, let's say, subsidiaries. the model has changed them. So today we use this kind of dispatch architecture, just like remote production, so that we can create contents. And basically the studio is right here in Italy. And again, stepwise, this journey continued. We did sort of an experimentation thanks to all of these events, all the way to the adoption of the model that you just described. In South Africa, it was 100% satellite, because in that case, the technical problem was completely different, but it was a wonderful experience with plenty of, equipment all over the country. Once again, hopefully we will, bring luck to Italy once again. We started from Germany, let me go back to Germany. Just out of curiosity, so the so-called two-back is virtual or... Oh, no, it's a picture. No, I'm just kidding. I am at the IBC, absolutely. And sorry there are no matches today, so you will see plenty of bars behind me or around me. But yes, I confirm this is IBC. Okay, I will move the camera, okay, so you can see what's around me. It's not a background, and the same goes for Ferruccio, I guess.
Andrea, ora tocca a te. Allora, Ferruccio ha anticipato la copertura che Sky
Andrea,
Sport,
now Ferruccio told us that Sky Sport, together with you, well, we're doing something incredible with the Italian matches. Also, in this case, there's a partnership that becomes stronger and stronger year after year. So what's new in this event? Well, starting 2021 at the, let's say, European Championship in IBC, again in 2021, we had already implemented a remote control system of the signals that are managed in IBC. So here in Sky, also in the current European Championship, you can select directly the signals so that you can dispatch via fiber from IBC to here.
Lì abbiamo l'ultimo nostro bivan creato nel 2021,
especially made for us in 2021, 12 GHR.
Versione lo utilizziamo in 1080p HDR
e lì abbiamo
uno studio, come ha detto già Ferruccio, che ha anticipato un po' tutte le posizioni di camere che abbiamo tutte le camere che lavorano in HDR, compresa la camera Look su supporto Rockingham e una camera full frame. Lavoriamo in HDR e lì ci siamo arrivati facendo dei test proprio con voi da novembre 2023, praticamente su 2 partite di Champions League abbiamo fatto dei test in HDR. Il primo test in cui abbiamo fatto un unico workflow, perché i test precedenti erano sempre con doppio workflow, ovvero si faceva la produzione in HDR e poi si faceva la produzione HDR, perché l'HDR andava tutelato e tutti i costi. Nei 2 test che abbiamo fatto a novembre e dicembre abbiamo dimostrato a UEFA che un unico workflow si poteva fare facendo le cose fatte in un certo modo. Poi da quei test ad aprile sono venute fuori che UEFA avrebbe fatto comunque una produzione unica HDR con l'utilizzo delle LUT NBC, e anche lì noi abbiamo fatto dei test proprio con eventi di Serie B che non è andato, il test non è andato in onda, ma in centrale con Luciano abbiamo constatato le conversioni, sia quelle fatte on site che quelle fatte a Milano, che fossero della stessa natura e della stessa qualità. Perché questo? Perché l'obiettivo era ricevere per esempio dagli europei il segnale HDR della partita, fare la conversione a Milano utilizzando la stessa LUT, ma mantenendo la qualità che un utente normale avrebbe potuto vedere su Rai.
So this is what ordinary users may have, watched on Rai. So the HDR flow converted in SDR had to have the same quality, the same, color parameters than the, let's say, international signal, which is what UEFA distributed to standard definition users.
Questa è stata la sfida più grande e ci siamo partiti da lontano, perché abbiamo iniziato da novembre a fare questi test per poi arrivare ad essere operativi con tutto il workflow in HDR, quindi canali replay HDR, camere HDR,
channels, the cameras, all of the workbench in HDR. Conversion is done on site, but it can also be done here in Milan by guaranteeing the same very high quality standard. Did you carry out tests during the Champions? Yes, oh, sorry, no, both in Naples actually.
Lì abbiamo fatto 2 test
So two
facendo
tests
tutto
in
il
Naples.
workflow
So the workflow
flusso di
was
lavoro in
one only,
HDR,
so
quindi
just
slow
one
in
single
HDR senza
HDR,
alcuna
slow
conversione.
motion in
Quindi tutto quello
HDR,
che
no
lavoravamo era nativo in
conversion.
HDR,
All what we
tranne
did was
alcuni segnali che
HDR
erano
native, with the exception of some
la
signals,
VAR e la GLT che convertivamo
VAR
noi,
and
però
GLT that
comunque
we
abbiamo
converted
garantito a
ourselves, but
UEFA
anyway
che
we
l'uscita,
guaranteed UEFA
diciamo quella che più
that, let's
interessa a
say,
loro,
the
quella per
delivery, this is what
l'utente
they
medio,
want,
quindi
for
il
the
segnale
typical
1080i
user.
SDR
So
fosse
the
di qualità
1080
così
SDR
come se lo
signal
aspettavano loro,
had to
quindi
be of the
cosa che non
quality they
succedeva prima
expected.
in
And this
tante
is
prove
something
che sono
that
state
didn't happen
fatte.
before. We
Se
carried
si
out
lavorava
many
bene in
tests
SDR
because
magari
if you work
l'HDR
well in
non
SDR,
veniva un granché, viceversa
maybe
se si lavorava bene
HDR
per
was not
l'HDR
good, and then
l'SDR
vice
poi
versa.
non
One
corrispondeva al
was,
vero.
a top
E
quality,
quindi
the
sarà
other
anche
one not
lo
at all.
standard che poi si userà
And
Esatto.
this is
la
the standard that will also be
ripartenza
used
della
when we
Champions ad
restart, the
Grazie Andrea,
championship. Okay.
Luciano,
The Champions Cup. Sure.
arriviamo a te,
Okay,
concludiamo
then
con
thank you
te
so
per
much,
approfondire
Luciano.
alcuni temi
May
trattati,
we
ma anche per
have some color
condividere
on some
le nuove
topics?
opportunità che
We
abbiamo
also would
sviluppato
like to
con
share new
gruppo.
opportunities we've
Abbiamo capito
developed
che
with the
quest'anno
group.
le novità hanno
We
riguardato
understood this
le
year
modalità
new developments
produttive in
concern
HDR,
production,
la copertura degli studi
systems in
on-site,
HDR, on-site studio
ma anche le
coverage,
sinergie con
but
gruppo con i colleghi
also
inglesi e
synergies
tedeschi.
with
Ci
our
spieghi
German
meglio?
and
Sì,
UK
allora,
colleagues.
infatti
Can
ho
you tell us
cercato
more
di
about
fare
this?
il fuoco su questi
Now,
3 punti che secondo me
focusing on
sono i
3
3
main
punti che
pillars, which is
tecnicamente
what we have just
emergono
shared, and this is
dai
what
mondiali,
typically,
dagli europei, scusate.
comes up when
E,
it's European
quindi vediamo
Championships
il
time.
primo caso.
So, case
Vi
number
sto dando un
one,
po' di numeri, quindi
just
questo
sharing
è
with
lo
you
schedule
some
con
figures,
tutte le
some
partite.
numbers. You can
Sono
see here the
51
match
partite.
schedule with 51 matches.
51 partite che
So, once again,
la UEFA ha
51
deciso di fare
matches
in
that UEFA
HDR,
decided to have in
come
HD
diceva
HDR.
giustamente Andrea prima,
So, as Andrea said
allineare
before, we need to
l'infrastruttura non è
align the
facile,
infrastructure,
fare,
and this is
diciamo,
not an
10
easy job.
stadi con
You
10
have to
servizi
have 10
diversi, ovviamente è
stadiums with 10
complesso.
different services.
La
It's a
LUT
complex
MBCU
effort.
aiuta sicuramente
Now, the
in questo.
LUT, so the
Ma
MBCU,
come
helps
diceva prima
quite a
anche
lot.
Ferruccio,
But as Ferruccio
questo è
said
solo
before,
la prima fase di quello che
this is
succederà.
but the very
Questo
first
è lo
step of
schedule
all
di
what will
tutte
be
le
happening.
partite
This is the
UEFA
schedule of all of the
dei prossimi
UEFA
3 anni
matches
che
in
Sky
the
ha
next
in
3
esclusiva.
years. This is an
Quelle in blu,
exclusivity
vedete, sono
agreement
le
for Sky.
partite della
Now, in
Champions,
the blue
arancione
color, you can see
sono quelle della
Champions.
Europa League, e
In
quelle in
orange, you
verde
have
sono quelle
Europa
della,
League, and in
della
green,
Conference.
you have the
Ci sono 126
UECR, so the
partite in più
conference.
rispetto all'anno
We have
scorso,
added
e vedete che ci sono dei
126
giorni dove ci sono
matches,
36
and
partite.
in some
Quindi è un
cases, in some
impegno
days, we have
veramente che
36
fondamentalmente
matches.
fra le 18 e
Now,
45 e le
basically,
21
it's
sono
between
contemporanee.
18:45
La prima
and
fase del
21, so
girone
between
è
7
tutta in
a.m. and 9
progressivo,
p.m.
parte
This is
la
basically
conference,
at the same
e la
time.
seconda fase
So the second
del
phase
campionato
of
saranno
the
tutte in
championship
HDR.
will be in
Quindi
HDR. So,
UEFA ha deciso di cambiare il
so
modo di
UEFA once
distribuire
again
questi
decided to
contenuti.
change the way
Sono
they
tutti in
distribute
HDC,
contents.
di
So all of them
DV2S,
are
e
in
quindi noi abbiamo
once
dovuto
again
sostanzialmente
HD.
cambiare tutta la
So we have to
ricezione
change the
per passare al
receiving
progressivo, per
part,
passare appunto
so
al
that we can
DCI,
have the
ovviamente al
so-called
DV2S.
progressive, DCI, and then the new system.
Sicuramente, diciamo, verbalmente ci hanno confermato che
they
anche
told
ovviamente
us
per un numero di
that
partite così
for a
useranno
large
la
number of
MBCU,
matches, they will be using,
e
the
quindi
LUT
volevo darvi un
and
attimino
BCU.
un
So
piccolo
I
background
just
di cosa vuol
would
dire.
like
Vuol dire
to
che
tell you what
sostanzialmente
this
sul
means.
mezzo, a
This
livello di
means that
shading, si
basically
usa la LUT
we
per
can
fare,
use the
diciamo, il
LUT.
controllo camere, per
This
fare
is for the
shading.
shading, so the
Infatti,
camera
gli
control.
operatori di controllo camere stanno
Operators,
lavorando,
so camera
diciamo,
control operators are now
sull'SDR,
working on
e hanno
SDR,
ovviamente il
and of
monitor di
course
reference,
they
che è un
have a
1000 nit,
reference
dove
monitor,
ovviamente si vede
which
l'HDR.
is 1000 nits,
Nella
and of
barra
course you can
centrale che
see the
vedete
HDR.
si capisce
In
un
the
po' bene
central bar
come
that you can
funziona.
see, well, you understand how the system
75%
works.
del bianco,
75% of
Francesco
their
mi ha
white,
insegnato,
so to say, as
stai a
Francesco
203
said, that this is
e
203
ovviamente sopra hai
NITs,
tutto l'headroom
and
per
then on
gestire
top you
l'HDR.
have plenty of headroom to
Riportandoci
manage
poi verso
HDR.
l'SDR, che è la barra
Now,
tutta
the
destra,
SDR is the
ritroviamo
bar
praticamente
on the
quel
right,
bianco fatto in
and you can
HDR
see the
al
so-called
75%,
white,
che è
so
esattamente
HDR.
quello che
This is 95%, which is exactly what
questo
should
è
be
uno
happening.
schema, ma che riesce secondo me a spiegare bene il
This
fatto
is a
che,
schedule
voglio dire,
that
con uno
clearly
strumento semplice, che poi
shows
sono alla
that
fine
through
delle
a
barre, abbiamo
easy tool,
sulla
through
destra,
bars
diciamo, il
basically,
segnale
you
convertito in
see
SDR,
the
sulla
converted
sinistra il
signal
segnale
SDR
Ovviamente
and
le due scale
HDR
sembrano
on the
uguali,
left
ma
hand side.
la
Now,
verità è
the
che
new
quella di
scale
sinistra
seems
a
to be
1000
the
nit,
same,
oltre 1000
but the
nit,
one
e quella di
in
destra
on
a
the left hand
1200
side is including 1,000, whereas on the right-hand side is 150. So you see the curve, and actually the white is slightly being compressed to allow compatibility. And you can see the scale of grays as well, and the overexposed area, well, clearly HDR can preserve it, SDR, it is kind of flattened. So what does that mean for us in Sky? Well, as we were saying, workflows are dual now, so HDR and SDR, so double transmission of signal, double reception, and double alignment, double production chain, and this is basically two different processings. Graphics are double as well, and double play out as well, and also double distribution in the end. Also, again, to make all the different devices compatible with one another. So what we really want to reach out is a single feed, either HDR, SDR, but it has to be one of the two, so single feed, and from a production standpoint, a single processing, of course, as a consequence. So the whole of the production center will have to totally collaborate with engineering colleagues, Luca Mariani and others. We are now updating MCR 2010, and we're now updating production. We're also migrating play-out structures into cloud, which is going to be in progressive status. Therefore, the chain where we will be converting HDR, SDR, will obviously happen that moment when we must be compatible on different devices. One important aspect on this project is the remote light production, as you can see, which we've developed in Sky with the team of Giuseppe and Carlo Montesi. And of course, we did collaborate with colleagues from studio operation. So the whole of the production was being handled by studio operation crew, production services crew in terms of course, shooting, set, light, and so on. Well, you can see a kind of a general schedule here. So as Ferruccio said, 3 cameras in the platform in Munich, and we're going to use it on 2 more matches where Italy is not playing, of course. And then, of course, a backup SRT, and also we had some audio codec, remote mixer, Prodigy, to feed microphones, rear monitor, as well as intercom, so the communication piece, basically. And also the commentators was connected as well, and the studio in Berlin that we've seen in the slide. Gallery 6, Studio 24, which was controlling all of the resources, coordination, tally, and all the information you can imagine. This has been a very good test, I have to say, something that we couldn't have done if we had relied on more traditional aspects, or more traditional tools. One last thing, which is what Manuela was saying earlier on, for the very first time, we're now sharing, well, on Euro, but this is going actually to be the case for UEFA full cycle from now on. What used to be the case back in past years, let's say, any Sky entity would have their own organization, whereas this year we're kind of grouped all together, we pulled all together, and of course we made it possible for the crews from the relevant countries, which of course are following their own, well, national teams, of course, so UK, Scotland, and then Germany, Austria for German colleagues and so on. So we were basically sharing all of these resources all together. And of course, Globecast feed were being redistributed with the 1D group, which we called FDR. And of course, you can see all of the different, let's say, venues where we were sharing the content through the UMT technology. So by making use of one of the server on one venue, we could obviously share the rights. Italy was the only one having rights to broadcast content, but all of the other countries, they're entitled to broadcast for reporting purposes. So they were still making use of the same content. And this is very much it. I hope I was quick enough. Oh, yes. Yes, you have been. I don't know whether there are questions. We're actually closing a few minutes in advance. And, well, I understand there are no questions. So, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ferruccio. Thank you, Fabio. I will now lay the floor to Monica Taruzzi and her guest. Thank you.